In this presentation, I wish to provide you one of the perspectives to address a certain type of characters when reading Shakespeare's works, clowns, or so-called Shakespearean fools. By introducing Bakhtin's ideas regarding gestures and carnivals, I hope you can better understand ambivalence and its power, which Shakespearean fools embed and wield. The presentation is going to be discussed in the current orders. The role of Shakespeare's fool has been discussed for a long time as a device for various literary functions. At that time, England experienced the great literary revival with the late Renaissance. However, those in power often used theater as a political tool rather than pure art, and Elizabeth I was no exception. During her reign, English theatre intentionally contributed significantly to strengthening and highlighting the monarchy. In such an era, direct political criticism was tantamount to inviting censorship. To prevent this, Shakespeare often depicted social and political subjects indirectly. The narrative's ambivalence evident throughout his works is particularly famous as a result of this strategy, and the fool is often mentioned as one of these ambivalent elements. Characters who take on the role of the fool are sometimes introduced with nicknames or professions, such as fool or clown, and sometimes have actual names, like the Poro in Macbeth or Touchstone in As You Like It. Before delving into the consideration of Shakespeare's fool, it is essential to examine the historical context of the medieval fool or court jester. In medieval or Renaissance Europe, courts often employed individuals with physical or mental disabilities as court jesters, believing them to be talismans of good luck. As the mistakes of these individuals became a source of amusement for the elite, jesters increasingly performed artificial acts of foolishness, leading to a unique evolution of their position within the court. Court jesters, by providing laughter, gained the patronage of the elite, while simultaneously enjoying the privilege of speaking freely despite their low status. Thus, they held a paradoxical position of being lower class individuals with greater political freedom than the upper class. Russian critic Mikhail Bakhtin found the true meaning of communication in the unique characteristics of these gestures for the concept of carnival. He warned against the monologic phenomenon where the concept of the other is eliminated within a single dominant order, proposing carnival as an active form of dialogue that recognizes and internalizes the speech of others. During the medieval period, carnival was a space where the populace could gather and freely engage in active resistance against the existing order just before Lent. In carnival, all hierarchical relationships became nullified, and subversive language akin to the political satire of gestures was freely executed under the guise of tolerance. Such an idea is well reflected in one of his works, Rabelais and His World. In the work, Bakhtin discusses the role of laughter in the Middle Ages, emphasizing its exclusive form emphasizing its exclusion from official ideology and social relations. He notes that laughter was confined and removed from religious practices and ceremonies, marked by a serious, summer tone reflective of medieval ideology that focused on themes like sin, atonement, and suffering. Early Christianity condemned laughter, associating jests and laughter with the devil and advocating for unwavering seriousness. Despite this condemnation, the spirit of gaiety and laughter remained in religious rituals. An irony is that they needed to be legalized as a response to their seriousness. As a result, these forms of laughter were adapted to fit into authorized practices as they were all allowed by the church, creating parallel rituals that allowed for joy in a restricted context. In this context, Bakhtin highlights the feasts of fools that was celebrated by lower clergy and students as a representative example of this phenomenon. Initially with their legitimate character, they emerged as the cult's parody and mockery of official rituals, with masquerades and improper dances. As the inherent second nature of humans, Bakhtin emphasizes how man could radiate their foolishness and laughter with bodily regeneration and renewal. A body becomes a tool for them to reveal Carnivalesque for all kinds of transformation, including regeneration mentioned above. In his later work, The Dialogic Imagination in 1981, Bakhtin probes the spirit of the carnival by exploring the role that laughter serves within literature. He discusses the vibrant parodic literature of the Middle Ages, which flourished during holidays and festivals, reflecting a tradition of parodying various texts at that time. This literature included parodic contents of religious practices, such as liturgies of drunks and the gambler, as well as numerous parodic prayers and hymns. Such reciprocal orientation of the sacred language and the parodic language refers to a blurred boundary between these two languages. Addressing this type of interaction's effect as a representative characteristic of Western European literature. Continuing on in the dialogic imagination, Bakhtin indeed explains the role of representative characters that often emerge in carnivals, the rogue, clown, and the fool, as significant types of characters that are often found in the era of low folkloric and semi folkloric. They tend to create their own unique space, which is explained as chronotop in Bakhtin's terminology. Within this world, they possess theatricality in the public sphere or public spectacle, always understood in a metaphorical attitude. Eventually, with this metaphoric and parodic characteristics, they are fundamentally a reflection of others' mode of being, which is but never directly, as they are never defined in literal forms. Bakhtin thus demonstrates that they have an ability to exploit any position, but only as a mask. Another fact related to this function to note is that during the carnival, everyone is given an opportunity to turn into a clown as one of the participants, while wearing masks by themselves and engaging in metaphorical sense, making their space full of simultaneous subversion and parody. In Bakhtin's lens, the carnival was a space for the collision or exchange. Thus, it implies that the carnival is a completely open space of communication, which is dialogue, where every person, as a kind of clown, can engage in subversive acts and freely enjoy the speech of others as a farce. They become both the clown and the audience, revealing their performances in public spheres. It is essential to recognize that clowns inherently depend on the audience for the performance of their farce and parody. In carnivals, isolated utterances are absolutely absent. Every spoken word functions as part of an interactive dialogue between potential clowns and the audience, with roles that may be reversed. Both readers or viewers in real life also inhabit this dynamic space, engaging with and responding to the clown's performances. Ultimately, Carnival is a completely open space of communication where all people, as a kind of gesture, can engage in subversive acts and freely enjoy the speech of others, again, as a farce or some kind of other unique form of joke, which reveals and displays many kinds of laughter and its subversive powers. The clash of discourses within Carnival was already underway in Shakespeare's time. As the medieval era waned and Renaissance dawned, conflicting values clashed prominently, and Shakespeare was a writer who knew how to capture and literally express the melancholy and bewilderment that individuals could experience in such a tumultuous era. The fool in his work serves as a device to provide laughter to the audience, empathize with their emotions, and boldly reveal political insights as the speech of the other. Indeed, his fools have long been analyzed in Shakespearean criticism as roles that directly demonstrate the function of carnival, just as Balkin's concept of gestures in carnival and their effects are properly explained. Through Balkin's lens, I hope you guys can better understand the whole character and the essence of these Shakespeare's fools. Thank you.